Dummy Switch Pod.
Yes,
The
sir.
boys are back to give you those reviews, those unfiltered
Yes,
opinions. How are you,
yes.
Chris?
Oh, good as much happier this week and yourself.
I'm down in the dumps. I may or may not have lost 2 million rand on the lines this weekend, but
Oh, geez.
to investigate later on. Let's start with your boys, Sharks, Benetton. It seemed like a recurring theme was also a hangover from the European fixtures. Same thing happened here with the Sharks when
Yeah,
they started 15 minutes after kickoff.
yeah. Look, in the beginning, I just thought, oh my goodness, what's going on here? Benetton they're looking dangerous.
Yeah,
Um, but look, they got their act together, and the pack, the power of the pack just came through,
definitely.
and they just had too much for them. And then even just from an attacking sense, they started. You could see you could sort of you see the quality of the Sharks. With the players that they have, they stacked, right? And you started to see that as the game wore on, and they took their opportunities. And then for me, there's not much really that I can complain about outside of the start, is that it smacks of that inconsistency, but also for me, defensively, it's something that I was talking about even in those last few rounds of the Heineken Cup, where from an attacking sense, they put it together, and even in some parts of defense, but then there's times where it seems like they fall asleep, get cut up
It's laziness.
easily.
To me, it's
Yeah.
laziness. When you're shooting for an intercept, it's because you can't really be bothered to get back. I mean, obviously, there's
Mm.
those intercepts where you go for it, you roll the dice, you go for it. But there's another kind of intercept where you're basically shooting because you don't want to get back into place, really.
Yeah, and and some of those, it's like you don't unnecessary, isn't you can
Yeah.
see that it's not on. It's just like, just stay in the lines, up the communication, get the guys out wide, and try to make the tackles. But yeah, man, that for me, that's where the concern is for the Sharks, especially going into the last round of URC, and with trying to get some good placings there. But what we do know is definitely, for the rest of this and the knockouts, they're going to be playing away from home, because yeah, they lost too many games, But this performance, I think you have to take your hat off. Grant Williams, these guys, they looked focused for me, in the sense that after that first start, right, you could see that there was just this focus, and you could, for me, when Grant Williams, when he scored his first try, you could see he wasn't over celebrating. He looked focused on, let's get on to the next job. Because there's a lot that's at stake. So I liked that sort of focus from them. It was good to see Sia out wide. Getting that try. Even though at times during that game I felt, he looked almost a shadow of himself a little bit. Like you said, the hangover, but at the end of the day, they got the result. I think that's what matters.
Yeah, basically the same notes you have, the same notes I have. When they can't get it going, they lay the platform until they can
Yeah.
get it going, and they did that later
Mm.
in the second half. The only
Yeah.
thing for me, it's just that laziness. Even that up and under Reno Smith had when they scored after that, not
Yeah.
taking the kick. It's laziness in defense. Grant
Mm.
Williams, I don't. Okay, Chituk I felt was up for it. Grant Williams was up for it.
Yeah.
Noche as well. I think he's the form
Yeah.
eight besides
Not.
Vaughan.
Yeah. Not sure. We gotta look. He looks a different animal. Earlier on in the season, I didn't have him up there. I felt Pepsi had a little bit over him. But as the season's gone on, he's just reclaimed his position, and look, he's been big for the shots of those carries, and he's looking more confident and more assured. I just like the sort of where he's at right now.
Especially with Dion Fourie out and he being capped
Mm,
already, it's going to be an advantage over someone
yeah,
like Vaughan. But yeah,
yeah,
I'm on the other side of this. I'm not too impressed because I mean it was never in doubt the quality. The only thing that I will
mm,
say that I like about the Sharks, consistently is if they can't get it going, they rely back to basics. We'll outscrum
Yeah.
you, we'll outmuscle you
Yeah.
until we can get it going, which I
Yeah.
guess is a
Yeah.
good sign. But onwards to the next game, unless you have anything else to say.
Yeah. Yeah, look, just lastly on the Sharks, but it's what I was talking about in the other weeks, is that you can see the quality, but you can also see the cracks, where a different team or better team, will really put them under a lot of pressure. It'll be difficult for them to
And
come back.
that's my issue with this, is that they knew they were never gonna lose. So that's when you can lazy defend. But when you're gonna come up against like Ulster, for instance, it's will those bad habits continue against a team that you can't do that sort of thing to? So that's my issue. It was never in doubt. The quality is too much. There was a lot of talk, even like, no, Benetton, they got some internationals there, they could get a result. No, it was never gonna happen.
No.
Yeah, Bull Zebre, for me, it's just Moody and Arendse. It's just the value that they bring.
Yes.
Besides that, everything was easy, but again, it's against Zebre. And again, I'd like to state that this is a free podcast, and you'll have to pay me to watch the Bulls and give in-depth reviews, because that is just not something I'm willing to do at the moment.
Shots fired at the Bulls right there, But look, I think, yes, okay, regardless of the opposition, okay, Zebre, but more like it from the Bulls in terms of, you can see they rolled up their sleeves, because everybody in that pack was looking to carry. They were looking to just beat those guys up, bash them, and then beat them into submission, and they did, But then you mentioned, Moody, Arendse, just Arendse, not Arendse, sorry, Moody, for his age. Just that calmness, he belies his age. He just looks like a seasoned Bok. He looks like a Bok. And that's why he's there. And you can just see he's that guy. He's got the quality. But I must say, with the Bulls, I think I was more impressed with their pack, the way that they went about the game. They were looking to dominate. They were looking to have more carries. And even I think even the commentators mentioned that game. I watched it. Is that
No, I also watched it. It's just that, I mean, to me, what can I say? It'll be different if you get a turnaround result against Ulster, but you're getting a turnaround result against Zebre. Like, even their fans didn't even come from Pretoria to watch this thing.
Yeah, but look, I hear what you're saying. I'm just glad that for them, there's that. They sort of started to go back to their processes, and they stuck to those processes. They had too much for Zebre at the end of the day. And, the Bulls, they look good, again, Eskom, in that pack, as much as everybody else were putting they did, up their level in this game. But in that pack, he's the guy, and it's just a shame that everybody else is not really at the same place where he is, in terms of the play. Because if you look at that pack, who else?
The thing is, you see them start talking about Krobler and his stocks rising, and his performance versus Dweba's performance. Dweba was playing against Munster. That's a different thing to playing against Zebre. So even I don't like the comparison that happened this week. Even I won't mention names, but when you see certain locks from the Bulls making meters, you must just know that's soft opposition. Because in regular games against contenders, they are not making those kind of meters.
That's true. The only thing you can say there is that you'd hope that as we go into the last round, and if they do make it to the knockouts, if they don't drop points, is that they can just continue to grow from there to finish strong the rest of the season. But other than that, like you said, it was Zebre at the end of the day. But good score, big score, good one. Good to see.
Yeah, moving on to second game at Ellis Park, the one where I lost 2 million rand on. Lions versus Leinster. It's frustrating because you get so much dominance. You get so much
Yeah.
dominance. You get the yellow cards.
Yeah.
You do
Yeah.
everything right. And the thing is, you can see the irritation and frustration when they were leaking tries. But just showing irritation on your face is not going to stop it. You actually need to do something
Yeah.
about it, which
Yes.
was the downfall.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, I think that Lions game for me, especially because it was Leinster, I was really pleased with the way that they played, that performance from the Lions. Those guys, just in terms of for them to put themselves in that position, where they lost the game. I'm going to say it. I'm going to go out and say it. The Lions lost the game. They shouldn't have lost that game. They should have. They really shouldn't have. But one thing you'd hope is that they'd learn from this experience, and rectify it going forward, because you can't be at home, get up such a good buffer. Yes, Leinster were always going to come back in that second half, but it came down right up until the end. That's where you want sort of that experience, especially from your halfbacks. That's where you start seeing the little bit of inexperience, to close out tight games, where
that's a skill. Being able to close out a tight game, that's a skill. It's just not we throw you on and you just play your minutes. That's a skill that is acquired. It's like any other skill on the pitch.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's a take home from that game for the Lions. And also it's just disappointing that defensively they leaked, a bit too easily. Yes, Leinster is a quality team, but it was just a bit too easy. Some of those tries. But all in all, for me, again, Lions with the nothing to lose. The stage that they are in, or the position that they're in the log. So. Confidence booster, yes, for me, I believe, because hear me out, because there was a whole lot of pressure in that game. You could see it. Leinster are just a difficult team. And for the Lions to be able to get that lead, put themselves in that position, it's confidence booster, yes, but it's also a bit of a deflator, because it's just like that skill that you mentioned, to close it out, not there, so that's where you have to look at, as much as he's been playing well, you have to look at your Gianni Lombard, that match winners, you have to look at your Nohamba, your Mone.
The thing was, they took Nohamba off, and you can see it's a routine substitution that, okay, we're going to take Nohamba off at 70 minutes, 75 minutes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just feel that it can't be a predetermined thing, because it seems like a predetermined thing because it's happening every game. Let the guy finish out the game if you can see it's a tight game and you want to win the game, instead of putting someone else in Mone van der Berg who maybe wasn't suited to this situation. So that's my issue there. But there were I will admit there were positives. Edwell had a big game. Flow continues. Franco Horn, his try, beat 3 defenders.
Yeah, Franco.
And the thing is, they're thinking. Even Swayze was saying they're thinking. They were getting Joy short side. I think for 2 of their tries, they went short side. Again, that thing of even Skalkberger was saying how you split the player, runners on either side. They were doing those. They're doing the things.
Yeah.
But it just and again, another level to it was you could see the Leinster players were out of breath at some point.
Yes. Yeah, because the Lions, what I noticed from there is that they just the way that they wanted to keep that tempo up and put pressure, ball in hand.
Yeah.
That's why I say, for me, it's a confidence booster in terms of they know that, okay, we can hang these guys. They need to fine tune. They do need to fine tune, and hopefully we can, especially in the next season, that they can elevate. But yeah, that's still a long time away. But look, all in all, they have nothing to lose at the end of the day, because look, it's got no effect. But
you've got like Lombard as well. Came, that confidence. I see they gave Horn the kicking duties. He did have 2 terrible ones in the beginning, but you can see that pressure being taken off Lombar's shoulders to say Horn is now kicking, Lohamba is now
Yeah.
kicking, and you saw that with his try. You just think that
Yeah.
he would bury a fly half that was his first cap, but unfortunately not.
Yeah.
Anything else on that game from you?
No. The Lions just at the end of the day, they hurt themselves, by not closing that game out. But still, the good things there. They can only hopefully just move onwards and upwards from here.
Yeah, Stormers versus Munster again, missing Dion
Oh,
Fourie. That
yeah,
seems to be the biggest factor. And again, they also had the same hangover that the Sharks had,
yeah,
going down early.
yeah, yeah. And then, I mean, if you saw at the end, the 2-point difference is kicks at goal, that should have been made. It weren't made, came back to bite them at the end of that, But again, Stormers, they just looked a bit like a shadow of themselves. I think without Dion Fourie, they're struggling to find a balance in that loose trio for me. Yeah, because there's no like for like replacement there, and they just weren't able to stop Munster. And you saw with RG Snyman what he was trying to do with them, just get those offloads going, and try getting in behind them. Some of their tries as well, guys are caught napping. But again, credit. Again, you have to give credit to, as much as it wasn't a good result for them, for Stormers losing at home, but you have to give credit for the doggedness, because I think at one stage it really did look like Munster were going to run away with it early on. That going into halftime locked in, you never saw that.
Yeah.
But the Stormers did well to fight back.
I think to that point, they were looking for that magic that would typically come from Dion Fourie, and it was Emil van Heerden that gave it with the hands free, and he got it to Malherbe for their try. So that until that point, I felt like they were searching for that magic, that offload, that pivotal moment that Dion Fourie would give them, and then they finally got it, and then that it opened the gates a bit.
Yeah, galvanized them to stop playing, have a bit more belief. I think Daniel was a Dan du Plessis.
Yeah.
At 12, I think he's really been big for the Stormers. Under the radar, not really mentioned a lot, but he does a lot of good things. Good, strong, hard running lines, and then his ability to even just get that offload away within the contact, work through post contact. But all in all, it's just they were behind the 8 ball, and that hangover hit them. And I think off-color Stormers, hopefully they can find a remedy pretty soon, and try better their position But look, at the end of the day, I don't see them getting that home playoff game. So look, they have to do it the hard way. All our teams have to do it the hard way, and we never know, there could be surprises. But it wasn't nice, because it is disappointing, man. Because especially because it was a 2-point loss. If they were put away by like 20 points, it was going to be, you're going to really understand. But the fact that it was so close and you're a championship team, it is disappointing. But I also think it is a sort of a wake up call where they need to start thinking of other plans, to try and nullify. Okay, they're playing Benetton next, but once they're going into the knockouts away from home, they need to find a different formula. So hopefully they can start implementing that against Benetton, especially if you're looking at, if Dion Fourie is not going to be there, they need to find another way. And that's what I think, that's where they're struggling. Whereas previously and early on in the season, the Stormers would find a way, to sneak it, and now they're just struggling to do that. And but it's the ups and downs. That's why I'm saying that hopefully, this Benetton game gives them that kickstart to them going to the knockouts. We can see some magic.
Yeah, Sinatla in this one, I also feel like he was unlucky for that yellow card, because Omani was slipping. And then what happens? Dweba's got the ball and he's slipping, and Omani gives him a shoulder in the face. So, and he only gets a penalty for that. So sometimes, we don't want to complain about refs, but we're always complaining about refs.
Yeah, look, the officiating. Look, there's definitely. I mean, there's definitely a lot of calls where just really questionable calls, and it's always the case. And it's just sometimes it's going to be a bit too much, you know.
Yeah, Dweba, even they targeted his throwing a bit, but I felt like he showed resolve, like he got it back on track.
Yes. Yeah.
Dan du Plessis, even now, I feel, but more du Plessis. If it was a normal year, I
Yeah.
feel like du Plessis would get capped, but it's not a normal year. It's
Yeah.
a World
It's
Cup
not a
year,
normal
so
year.
it's
Yeah.
gonna be tight. Dweba, even though I felt like Dweba, it was a strong performance, but it's just always gonna be
Yes.
the line out throws. Hartzenberg, it's tough because he's a young player, and you can see
Yeah.
especially that maybe his confidence is dipping because especially
Yes.
seeing things on socials when you're now starting to see people call you out, and he didn't have the confidence to finish the attacking chance. Then on
Mm.
defense, I think this is like the third game in a row where he's doing it, where he's shooting too late and he's not committing enough and cutting off that final
Yeah.
pass. That final
Mm.
pass has to be under so much pressure because it's like you can rush people with there's a skill level. There's a skill you can't rush an international center and expect the guy to be like flustered.
Yeah.
You
To be
have
shook,
to shut
you
him down
know.
properly.
Mm.
And I feel like he's not at that level where he's shutting down that last pass well
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah. He's getting caught out too many times. He's getting caught out. He's getting beaten actually by that pass.
Yeah.
It's almost like he's in no man's land. Once he's there, then no man's land. It's easy for these to get in behind them. It's hard to recover. And maybe inexperience, like yes, he's still a young player and confidence. But it's still the nice thing about this is that it's something that he can work on. And get better at. It's just disappointing that it's happening at the wrong time of the season for him. But yeah, and then look, like even for me, if you're gonna talk about if we're still going back to the loose trio, I'm not happy. I wasn't pleased with their balance, or not that I'm that invested in the Stormers, but their balance didn't. Yeah, it just Willie Engelbrecht there at 6. It just
Yeah.
for me, it didn't really. There was no effect. There was no effect. And is it what's this? Is it JB? Is it Dixon, BJ, or JB? He was also again, but he's another youngster. But he was found wanting here and there. They struggled to really impose themselves on this game. That's the main thing for me is that Stormers pack really struggled to get a grip on that game and then have that power to pull away. And I don't think there's enough influence. Okay, quality of the ball, but not enough influence from like a Damian Willemse at the back. Yes, there were good things, but there wasn't that much influence because of the nature of the way that game was going. With their pack not really being the most dominant pack. On the night, but yeah, unfortunate. But they can get it back on track.
They will definitely get it back on track. They're playing against Benetton, so that's
Yeah.
guaranteed W there. Lions are gonna face Zebre again. Personally, I feel that's a guaranteed W. That's gonna be another one where we come here and it's gonna be a turnaround for the team. But I feel Lions are gonna do well. They get the win. Bulls versus Leinster. This will be more of a test, but I'm still expecting
Yes.
the Bulls to carry it on because at the end of the day, there's guys that were earning their first starting cap against the Lions, and these are going to be the guys that are playing against the Bulls. So you'd expect them to overcome that simply because of where they are, where they were last season, and measuring by the Lions.
Yeah, but this is for me, definitely it is a test for the Bulls, to see if they can actually kick on, because yes, they had the confidence builder, the benefit to get things back on track, but this is the test, against Zebre, it was a confidence builder, but now this is the test where can you do the same but at a higher level, and knowing that Leinster they're not gonna just go away like Zebre did, so it's gonna be tough. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, then it's
And so,
Sharks versus Munster.
yeah.
Yeah, bit more tough, and I think depending on results, that's gonna see who sees Leinster further down.
Yeah, true. But I think the Sharks really, with this one, they should just continue building. I see it'll be a tight one, difficult, but I think they can pull this one out. I think so.
I believe so. I believe so. Any closing remarks, Chris?
Oh, look, the team's just got to finish strong. You just got to finish strong now, and then just get into the knockouts. In the knockouts, they must go in there and just go swinging, and because it's away from home, So, yeah, yeah, man, that's all I
Yeah,
gotta say.
I think I'm on board with that. Go out swinging, boys. Don't die wandering. Go out swinging.
Yeah, true. No, I mean, especially away from home, just throw the kitchen sink, But first things first, they need to continue that momentum, and then take that into the knockouts. So, yeah, looking forward to that.
Yep, Dummy Switch Pod. Thanks for watching.